Stop farting. Stop. Seriously. Ian.
What?
I'm recording, dude. All your farts are on my show. Freaking annoying. I mean, that one was loud. There's no way you didn't hear that one. That's like not in my head. He's like actually aiming his butt at our show now. Like,
I can smell it.
This show
I
literally
can smell it.
stinks.
Oh my goodness.
And now he's giggling. I thought he'd be embarrassed. Ian's the type that he would be embarrassed. Eli would be like, let me fart again. Yeah.
Civil War is on Netflix.
Oh, cool. Watch it and stop farting.
Who is your daddy? I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?
I just want to point out that I just got a haircut like 20 minutes ago, and I look amazing. And my eyes are just like ocean blue. I am very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Eli.
Yeah. So for all you ladies listening to the podcast and checking out the YouTube video,
Yeah.
too
I'm
bad he's
amazing
taken.
looking.
I don't know.
Eli,
Yeah.
agree now.
No.
Oh my god.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I'll be the host. You be the eye candy. How about that?
Yeah. So I don't need to talk a lot. I just need to do this.
Oh yeah, please. The male duck face. There's few things in life more embarrassing than the male duck face.
Oh, come on. I love the duck face.
Oh my goodness.
I love the duck face.
Yeah, I know you do. All right, here we are, episode 52. Happy New Year. It's January 1st, actually probably 2nd by the time this is going to be able to come out. But here we are in 2017, so Happy New Year to all of you. Thanks for listening. Derek, Happy New Year. Did you stay up till midnight last night?
I did, but I was actually gaming and didn't even pay attention to the fact that it was already past midnight.
Oh, that's
My
good.
wife-
You were distracted.
My wife was just kind of watching like one of those, what's those romantic B style movies?
Like a
They come
romantic
on.
comedy?
Yeah, but they're on a specific
Oh.
channel.
Lifetime.
Yeah, she was watching one of those, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Which
a
I'm not
Lifetime
saying I
movie,
hate
yeah.
them, but I just,
Oh, I do.
you know, we've talked about this before. If I have a choice between watching a boring show or movie or playing video games, I'm gonna leave the room.
Yeah, no, that's a good choice. Lifetime movies, not really my thing. But if you like them, more power to you, I guess. No, you know what? If you like them, you should be embarrassed because those are awful movies. All right. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about what we're playing right now as we're trying to wrap up the games from 2016, and that will continue probably for the next few months. But also we want to preview 2017, and so I don't want this to be a super long episode. We've had some longer episodes than usual, but you never know. We get talking. Who knows what will happen. But I do want to just run through maybe not every single game that I've written down, but I've written down some notable releases for us just to mention that are coming out. Some of them have release dates, some of them don't. And then if we have time at the end, I'd like to kind of throw out a few predictions of our own of what's going to happen in 2017 related to video games. So before we do that, though, Derek, what are you playing? What video games are you gaming?
I've
these days?
actually, I've just been playing one game. I've been playing Final Fantasy 15. I've even kind of cut Final Fantasy 7 out. I'm not going to stop playing 7, but I've been really focusing on 15. Plan is just to basically try to do everything until I get sick of it. And then I did buy the season pass, so whenever they start releasing more content, I'm just going to stay in it. That's
Okay.
why and I don't want to go on a long tangent, but I actually posted, I think yesterday or something like that, trying to get like feedback from the group, like what should I pre-order, because I have some currency on the PlayStation Store, and I wanted to, instead of using it on sales and buying games that I honestly don't even care about, like I bought Grand Kingdom for $20 and I haven't even played it. Not that I'm not going to like it, because I played the demo and I liked it, but the point is instead of using that money to buy something I'm just not going to play, I'd rather pre-order games. But I'm also not the reason I asked them is because I'm trying not to just pre-order everything. Like January 24th has 3 games coming out that I would normally, and you know me because you've game shared with me, that I would just be like, Tim, are you going to get any of these? No. Okay, I'm just going to buy them all. And I would just buy them all. And then I would probably play maybe one of them. I don't know. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to go, okay, Tales of, I think it's Berseria or whatever, probably not going to play it at launch. Why pay $60? I'll just wait for it to get cheaper.
Did you ever play Tales of Zestiria?
Huh?
Did you ever play the last Tales game?
Zestiria I bought. It's the new one's coming out January 24th. And then
yeah, but did you ever play the last one? Did you ever get to it?
I played, I think, 10 hours of it.
Oh, that's
and
not
it's
bad.
like one of those where I'm like, yeah, I'd like to play it more, but then I kept getting bored. So
yeah,
so you get my point.
Yeah, I do.
So anyways, I'm trying to pre-order less, so I want to kind of lock in games that I actually will be like, day one, I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right now,
I think,
Final Fantasy 15.
I feel like the last, 18 months or so have been a good lesson for me in pre-ordering, in that don't pre-order stuff if I have a history of if I don't have a history of already loving that game or that developer, because I got burned with No Man's Sky, and it's not that I thought that game was going to be bad or that I ended up hating it. It's just that it wasn't worth $60, that's for sure. And I just got caught up in the hype, and I was too excited, and I went for it. I pre-ordered Fallout 4 at the end of last year, and I shouldn't have done that, because I just got caught up in the hype of that E3, which was an awesome showing, and the hype of the game. I got excited about it, so I bought it. And then, of course, I still haven't really gotten into it. So I think I learned some lessons with pre-ordering. There are certain games and certain developers I'll just jump at right away, like Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not even going to think about it. That's going to be a purchase no matter what. Like Uncharted 4 was this year. But then I got to be a little more careful with others, and I need to learn to be okay with waiting a little bit, because I get so excited. A group gets talking, and you and I get talking about games, and I get so hyped and pumped for a game, and then I'll buy it. But I think lesson has been kind of learned recently that if I'm going to do that, I'm going to lose money, lose it fast, and maybe miss out on other games I could have gotten with that money. So anyway, I digress. But I'm with you. Pre-ordering, it's good to plan it out, know what you're going to get, but it's also good to know when to kind of rein it back a little bit and be okay with waiting for a month even after it releases, or more, or a year after it releases. So anyway.
Well, I have exciting news to announce on the show. And by the way, I was listening to you. I know that sounded so rude, and I sure
No, that's a good transition. That was really smooth. Go ahead.
But I have exciting news. I just platinumed Final Fantasy 15.
Just now?
Yeah.
Like while we were talking?
That's why I started looking up while you were talking. I was listening, but I was like, okay, I got to see if I've unlocked this last trophy, and I did.
That's awesome. Congratulations on the plat. Are you going to keep playing it now? Because the plat's not really what you're going for. You're playing it because it's fun, right?
Yeah, but I did check the trophies when I got to, I think, like 80% of the trophies, and I was like, okay, should I just go for the platinum? And then I looked at like the list of all the trophies, and I was like, this isn't hard at all. Like, most of the trophies are lined up with what I'm already doing now. They're just asking me to finish them. Like, for instance, I'll give an example, and this was the last trophy I just popped, was, you know how each character has, like, their special skill, like, Prompto does photography and so on. Well, you have to max those levels out on all 4 of them, and each one of them gets a trophy. So Prompto has his trophy, Gladios has his, and so on. So I just got Gladios's, which is probably, his is like the easiest, but also the hardest, because his is basically you just have to run around.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, like the survival or whatever his skill is, right? I think it's called survival.
Yeah,
like
survival, which
yeah.
all it is, I don't know why they call it survival. It's really just like Rocket League's, the last trophy I got in Rocket League, and that was drive 5 billion miles. Well, that's what his is.
And that was broken. You remember that? That was like, it didn't actually track accurately at the beginning. They had to patch that later.
But way off. But anyway, so I realized that a lot of the trophies were stuff I was already planning on doing. Like, I planned to get all the arms. I planned on trying to max these characters out. I wanted to do all this stuff. I was trying to get to level 99. And then today, I posted on the group again. I put a little rest in peace because I killed
Adamantoise.
Huh?
Is it Adamantoise?
Yeah, I killed him. And I
Nice.
was actually going to fight him when I got to level 99 because I didn't want to fight him for like 20 hours. But I fought him at level 82, and it took me maybe an hour.
Okay. All right.
It's repeat. I was never. He was never a threat. I think one time he got 2 of my characters down to 0 health.
He's
But
just
all
a
I had to do was give him-
screen-filling, cool-looking monster. Like, he looks cool. They did a great job
he's
making him a
going
literal
after
moving
you.
mountain.
He's going after
Yeah.
you. Like, if you are an idiot and just stand there, he'll kill you. But if you just warp the whole time, like I got into a pattern where all I was doing was warp attacks, and then when my stamina was getting low, I was switching to one of my special attacks with Gladios, where he basically, I think it's the Dawn Hammer or something like that, where he comes down and swings his big sword at him. So I would do that, and while he was doing that, I would drop to the ground. As soon as the animation was done, I would hit hold triangle, warp to a safe area, and then I just repeated that for an hour.
Nice. Nice. That doesn't sound that much fun, but that game is fun. I can attest to that.
The game is fun. It could have been a lot better if they made it more difficult. I think what they were going for is this was something to help sell the game, and that was level 99 boss that takes 24 hours to beat type thing. I know it put some people off, but I think a lot of people are like, really? And then when you see him, he's real impressive. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah, I remember the first time, because I think, isn't that part of the actual story? You have to trigger that? Maybe it's not, but it seemed like a main mission. But I remember triggering it. I remember triggering it.
It
and
is
then
one
there's
of
a
the
part
missions
when,
where like you trigger it and then you have to run away.
Yeah, and then like you talk to everybody because there's earthquakes going on. Everyone's in the diner and you're talking to all of them, and then it's the giant mountain thing. But anyway, cool.
So yeah, I just got
nicely
literally
done.
Just got
Congrats.
The platinum now. Thanks.
Well, I'm playing a lot more games than just one. Although Final Fantasy 15 does sound like fun to jump back into, but I'm resisting because I've got a lot of other games I want to play. So I finished Last Guardian. Like I said last time, I was getting closer to finishing Last Guardian. Finished it. That game is really great. And so when we do end up doing our combined top 10 list, by the way, everybody, we talked about doing that this week. We're going to move that back a few weeks, at least into late January, maybe even February, to revisit the top 10 list, just to give us time to process and to complete some stuff, and to just take a step back from Game of the Year discussion. There's been a lot of that. But anyway, Last Guardian left an impact, so I'll be curious to see how that resonates with me as time goes on here. I
would like to actually, now that I've finished Final Fantasy 15, I would like to either try to progress a little bit further in that or play Dead Rising 4. Those are the two games
I would suggest,
that I have just sitting there.
Because we've talked about this just recently, actually. Because I am more of a kind of patient, take my time gamer, it means that you're more prone to jump into stuff like Doom and do well. And I actually struggle with a game like Doom, which I'll talk about in a minute, because you're better at jumping into the frantic gameplay. And that's why the Final Fantasy 15 battle didn't quite click with me at first. It did with you before it did for me, because there's some frantic action there, whereas I like to do the stealth stuff. Stuff like Hitman, stuff like Last Guardian, I prefer that. So all that to say, I would suggest there's got to be some good guides out there by now for Last Guardian. Use a guide, because some of the puzzles it's not super obvious what to do. And that way you don't get frustrated and caught up on a certain part. Just follow a guide, let it tell you what to do, and just enjoy it's really all about the kid and Trico. That's what the whole game, the whole positive that I take away from that game is the kid and Trico. Not one puzzle did I see and I thought, oh, that's a really clever puzzle. Like, they're not bad.
Yeah.
And some of them are good, but that's not why I loved that game. It had nothing to do with the environmental puzzles they make you do. It had more to do with the kid and the creature. So,
Gotcha.
I'm also, I purchased and then played all the way through Titanfall 2, the campaign. It's only like a 5, maybe 6 hour campaign. It's pretty short. But I really liked it. That our buddy Colin Perkins, if you listened to or watched our episode last week, he made a case for Titanfall 2, and I don't disagree with him for it being at least one of the better first-person shooters this year. The campaign was surprisingly good. I loved the
Are you going to play
Titan.
any of
BT.
the multiplayer, though?
I might. I don't know. Multiplayer first-person shooting games just don't appeal to me right now. Like the idea of jumping in there and getting owned by 12-year-olds and then being told that my mother did something to them earlier or whatever. Like, I just don't want to do that. So I have no interest in that right now. Maybe I will. I don't know. I like the campaign a lot.
I downloaded your copy, and I gotta say the PS4 Pro version looks way better than my Xbox One version.
Does it?
Yeah, I booted up the campaign, and then I also played some multiplayer on both the Xbox One, and then after yours downloaded on my PS4 Pro, I played it, and I was like, holy crap, the coloring is it's so much more vibrant. I know on the one, it's real, like, faded. Kind of looks like, it's not Xbox 360 graphics, but I would say the coloring palette is 360. It's real faded, not real vibrant, or I don't know. Do you use vibrant colors?
Yeah. No, it looked really sharp to me. I mean, because I had HDR activated on there.
Yeah,
it looked really, really great.
Yours is going to look similar to what mine looked like, if not the exact same.
It looked really good. I did have a few times when, like, I would either melee a guy with the butt of my gun, or I would maybe even shoot him, and there was sometimes a slight little delay where the guy would freeze for a second, and then all of a sudden he would blow up over here. So I had a few little technical things with, like, just enemies, but it didn't break the game at all. I just noticed it from time to time. Other than that, no hiccups, really. Really smooth. There was one boss battle with a villain named Viper that I hated. I thought that was a horrible boss battle, but maybe I just suck at Titan battling. I don't know.
That one is the one I think I struggle with the most. Like, I died like 10 times in a row, and I was like, this is starting to piss me off.
I had to be somewhere in the 10 to 15 range for me, and I just kept shrugging my shoulders, like, what's happening? I eventually figured out if you can get him to a certain point with his shield being destroyed and his health coming down, then it gives you a checkpoint. So then I started. Then every time I died, I was a little bit further in the fight. So it was a little forgiving there, but man, that was not great. But anyway, overall, very good experience. Really liked it. I could have sworn it was the guy who did Optimus Prime's voice as BT, but it turns out it's not. But really liked that a lot. Highly recommend it. It's only $30, I think, unless that sale's over. That sale might be over.
I don't know.
And New Super Mario Bros. 2. I'm playing that on my 3DS a little bit here and there, as the kids are all playing their 3DSs too. Maybe the TV's occupied. I've been playing my new 3DS, and that's a game that my oldest son had, and I had never played. So I'm playing that a little bit. It's fun. I think Super Mario Run just put me in the mood for a Mario game, so I'm just playing a little bit of that here and there. Also playing SteamWorld Heist, which I got on sale on PSN. I'm playing it on my PS4. I've heard it's great, though, also on 3DS and Vita. So, but anyway, playing on my PS4, I like it. It's very charming, and it's a very fun side-scrolling turn-based strategy game. So if you ever played something like Counter Spy, the levels and the cover-based stuff is similar to that, but it's not a real-time action game. It's a turn-based strategy game. So it's pretty fun. There are times when it gets a little frustrating and it's a little bit simplistic, but it's still pretty fun. And lastly, so I'm playing a lot of games. Lastly, I'm playing Doom. So yeah, so Doom is the last one, and I'm probably about a third of the way through that game now, and I haven't noticed one problem with it. Like, I can't find anything wrong with that game, other than the fact that I can't play when any family's in the room because it's pretty violent. We talked about this earlier this year. I had no interest in it. Well, everyone talking about it, and the giant Bombcast guys really talking it up, and guys like Jesse and yourself and Mark Allen and all these others that I know I like their opinions on most other games, and you've talked about it, how much you like it, and I'm like, I got to give this game a real shot. Everyone says it's the same thing that they did with Wolfenstein, but maybe even a little bit better than what they did with Wolfenstein. So I was like, all right, let's try this game. And I'm really liking it. It's a lot of fun. It's got a very dark and yet kind of tongue-in-cheek storyline, and I like that. I like the dark humor to parts of it, and I like how it just kind of gives hints of the old Doom stuff while being its own new thing. It's a lot of fun. Probably isn't a first-person shooter that plays this fast and this smoothly that I've played in maybe ever. It's so fast. It's so fluid.
Halo 5's pretty close.
Is it?
The
Okay.
difference between Halo 5 and Doom is Doom's just so violent.
Yeah,
you feel like you're doing... Well, you are. You just feel like you're doing so much more, so much faster, so much more powerful, because things are exploding, like body parts and stuff, whereas Halo... You are moving that fast. Like, Halo is a fast first-person shooter. Jesse and I talked about it a couple times while we were gaming online, about how Halo and Doom feel very, very much the same, but Doom does give you that.
I think that's a fair comparison.
Crap.
No, I've only played up through Halo 4, and I didn't even finish that one. But But I think that's a fair comparison with and the Destiny, like the Bungie style games, plays also very fast and smooth and fluid. But anyway, Doom's great. I'm enjoying it. I think I'll see it through to the end. But at least now I have a better idea of why it won for our group for best gameplay and why.
I think you should. It's not that long of a game.
It's a little longer than I thought.
You play games in front of your kids. So you got Last of Guardian done. You've got Titanfall 2 done. So you can play Mario and Steam World in front of your kids. When they go to bed, I think your main game should be Doom. I think you can get it done in 7 or 8 hours.
The howtobeat.com average was like 12.5 to 14.
Yeah, but haven't you played it for at least 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd say 8 hours if you don't suck. It's a hard game. The boss fights are hard, so if you do have problems with the fast-paced stuff, I would turn it down to easy.
I was just going to say,
hard.
I actually am not great at this game, although there are times when I'll complete an entire section of enemies. You know how they pretty much lock down a section until you clear all the demons out of there? Mm-hmm. And there's times when I'll go through a whole sequence and be like, dude, I was on point. My shotgun blasts hit right at the right time. My glory kills are right there. I switched over to the heavy machine gun and took out the giant, whatever he's called, the juggernaut-looking dude. And it feels good. And there's other times when I just can't get it right. Maybe I'm jumping to dodge out of the way, and I accidentally jumped over and into the lava and sank. Like, there's a few times like that I'm a little frustrated because, like I said, Fast and Frantic isn't my first choice for a game, but I'm still having fun with this. I think that speaks to how good the game is. It's not my style of game. I've actually fallen off first-person shooters for the most part, but this one really, really has hooked me. So I recommend it. Not in front of the kids. Maybe something like Halo you could play more in front of the kids. It's very space.
Halo
and,
5's pretty clean. I mean, it's got violence because you're technically killing, but
it's nowhere near something like
not
this.
Not even close to Doom.
All right, so that's what we're playing. It's been a good Christmas break. I've enjoyed some time off and spending time with family, spending some time playing games. But now it's time to look ahead.
We're
recording back to work
on Sunday,
Tuesday.
By the way, people.
Yeah. So no, we have Monday off, and kind of that's how we were recognizing New Year's Day, since New Year's Day is on a Sunday. So we have Monday off, and then I go back on Tuesday. The kids go back to school on Thursday.
That's what I'm doing.
So
my kids are out of school for the rest of this week, so they're actually going to be going to work with me Tuesday through Friday.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, bring all your kids to work day.
No. They're annoying. Eli told me today, he's like, you know why I hate going to your job? I was like, last I checked, you liked it, but yeah, why do you hate it? Because you know what? When you buy me a cookie and I don't eat it all, I go and put it in my little storage area, and some of these little brats just eat my cookies. I was like, oh.
Eli said this?
Yeah, he told me today. So I said, oh, okay. So the whole reason you hate going to my job is because of potential loss of cookie. I was like, maybe you should just eat it all when I buy it for you.
That's a good suggestion. That's fantastic. All right, well, be sure to journal that for us. I want to hear more about what happens with Eli at work. All right, 2017 has the potential to be, we've talked about this at the beginning of 2016 too, how 2016 has potential to be a down year. Turns out it was a much better year than we thought. I think it was a great year for first-person shooters, even though I didn't play all of them. But it was a great year in general for games. And I still like 2015 better, but 2016 was a surprise. 2017 is shaping up to be maybe one of those marquee landmark years. If all these games land as they're supposed to, if they're anywhere near what we expect them to be, then it could be a really marquee year. So let's go through some of these notable releases.
Okay.
And we can just kind of skip through them. You can stop me, or if you want to talk about a few, that's fine. But I wanted to give our listeners a chance to hear specific dates for the first quarter, and then just some general games.
I'm going to put my glasses on for this because I can't read this list. Try not to wear them, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, my wife saw me editing last week and saw the reflection of the screen in my glasses, and she was like, doesn't that annoy people? I was like, I don't know, but it does. I don't care. I try to have my glasses a little bit to start the show, and my eyes get real strained real fast.
Not now that we're doing a list and I want to know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. All right, so here we go. Let's start in January. January 20th, there's two notable releases that I wrote down, and that's Dragon Quest VIII is being remade and released on the 3DS, and Gravity Rush 2 on the PS4.
Zero interest for me.
Yep, same here. But they are notable because they're people like those games. January 24th, you mentioned this earlier in the show, so let's talk about this date. There's one game that I left off, which is
actually.
Tales of whatever it is, Besteria or whatever.
Besteria, I think it. Barcerio.
Tales
and
of
then the
something.
other one is Yakuza 0. Which
I didn't
it's
know that was
not just
coming out on
me.
the 24th.
There's several people that are interested in Yakuza 0.
No, I didn't know that was coming out that day. Okay, so there you go. Yakuza 0. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8.
Which I'll be interested in after I buy the other Kingdom Hearts that's coming out later.
Yeah.
Because I want to
fair.
beat 1 and 2 before I touch all these 2.8 crap.
Yeah. And then Resident Evil 7, which is one of our... So I put out the request for our community to pretty much tell us what's the deal with 2017. Give us some predictions. And I believe it was Robert Snow predicted that Resident Evil 7 will be the game that VR needs. It will rescue VR from its obscurity where it's
Doesn't
kind
it
of...
have numbers on VR?
I have no idea.
I always hear like, oh, it was selling great because it was selling out, and then I would hear it's a failure. That's why Sony's not talking about it, not really pushing games. So I'm like wondering if it's here's how you know if it's a failure. If they're not talking about sales at all, it is somewhat of a failure or a disappointment. If they're talking about it and gloating, then they're like, yeah, look at how good we are. Because that's what they do with the PS4. They're like glad to tell us that they've sold 50 million.
I have a feeling it's not selling like they thought, but I also would be surprised if it's a complete failure. So
I don't think it's a failure. I just think it's one of those games that one of those system or hardware that they didn't have extremely high expectations, but they may have still not hit the lowered expectations that they had set.
Yep. Well, that's fair to say. But Robert could be right. Resident Evil 7 could be a VR experience. The VR experience for that game could be a killer app for those who like VR. So, yeah, you never know. And our buddy Brian Pelfrey, of course, he's a mega fan of Resident Evil, so I know he'll be
VR just for that game.
Too. Exactly, yeah.
I'll tell you what,
February.
Pelfrey,
go ahead.
Can I just say this? Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off. But
you're fine.
Pelfrey, this is a shout-out to you. Listen to our show, first of all, and you'll hear this. If you play Resident Evil 7 in VR and Twitch it, I will watch. Because I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, and I'm just being honest with our listeners. I don't care if they call me names. I don't give a crap. I'm too scared to play that game right now, and I'm actually thinking about not even buying it because I'm like, why spend money if you're just not going to play this game? Because I tried the newest demo. The one that I tried on VR where you're just sitting in the chair that I talked about, that wasn't scary because I'm not moving. It was creepy, but I wasn't like moving. Nobody was attacking me. I was just sitting in a chair. When I started playing the actual new demo where you're moving around the house and you can unlock all these keys and everything, and all you're hearing is people following you and making noises and things are moving, I was like, no, this is too much for me. So I don't even know if I'm going to buy the game yet. I may get a hard copy at Best Buy and give it a shot, but I haven't decided.
Okay. Well, the first game of the year that's coming out that I am very interested in is Neo. Will arrive on February 9th for the PS4.
I will be pre-ordering that for you, so you don't have to pay for that one. That will be a gift from Elijah Matthew to you. That will be a gift from me. Oh.
I hear some giggling back there.
Well, he's been giggling, and Ian, you see Ian up on the top bunk. I don't think he's aware I'm recording, and so I don't know if you've heard it, but I'm going to call him out. He's farted out loud twice. Like it's been...
I have not heard it.
Well, I guarantee one of our listeners, so I'm just going to say it now. Yes, I am fully aware my son is farting on the show. He's just not aware, because I guarantee he does not know I'm recording. He's got his headphones on.
Yeah,
he's lost
I can see his face
Supergirl.
watching something up there.
He's watching something, and he's my gassy one. And so he'll just sit there, and every 10 minutes he'll go...
Yeah, so usually when I edit the show, I try to listen and I try to scan through for noises on either end. Like if I bump the mic or if you cough into the mic, I try to edit that out.
Let it go. Let the farts go.
But in this case, if I hear one, I am amplifying that bad boy so all can hear.
It's like slow-mo it.
That's right. All right, so here we are in February. February 14th, Valentine's Day. What better to get for your Valentine this year than For Honor from Ubisoft and Sniper Elite 4? Two great violent games for Valentine's Day.
They really are. They're good.
Sniper Elite games are really fun. I've played 2 and 3. I don't think I beat either one, but I had a lot of fun with both of them. 3 especially had some really cool things they did with zooming in on the skeleton as you would hit him with the bullet in the right spot. Very cool stuff with Sniper Elite 3.
I kept
and
shooting
For Honor
everybody
looks
in the
interesting.
balls.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah, and For Honor looks pretty interesting too. I'll be curious to hear how that one comes together. For those of you who are interested in real-time strategy, February 21st, we'll have the release of Halo Wars 2 on Xbox One and the PC. I don't really have much interest in this, but in interest of full disclosure, I never played Halo Wars, the original one. So that's the reason I'm not really hyped for it.
I was interested, but I've said I don't like those type of games. So.
Yeah. I like them sometimes. It's just been a while, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really pulled in right now. February 24th is the open world sandbox game Lego Worlds. And I admittedly don't know a ton about this one, other than it's not really themed with a Star Wars or X-Men or anything, or Marvel.
I own
think
it.
It's more of a...
I know what it is.
Okay.
I own it on PC.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's like a Minecraft, but Legos.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. February 28th is the game that many of us are hotly anticipating. Is hotly a weird word to say there? Hotly anticipating? Highly anticipating.
I would say highly, but you can totally.
I'm gonna
say
go with
hotly.
hotly. I'm gonna go like super
I am
hotly
ridiculously
anticipating.
good looking, so hot.
That's Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS4 on February 28th. Please, oh please, hit that release date. I hope they don't delay it. So I feel like if we can get out of January, I'll feel good about it landing on time. But you never know; they might delay it.
Yeah, I guess they could back out in January, but I think it's gonna hit. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope so. March 7th, we have Nier Automata, which I believe has a demo available right now, and some people are enjoying that. Did you
I
try
tried
the demo?
it. I wasn't blown away with it, and that was
Okay.
actually one of the games I was like contemplating pre-ordering right away. And after I didn't play the full demo. I played part of it, and I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Well-
is basically saying I'm an idiot and I'm wrong, but
Well, if that doesn't do it for you on March 7th, maybe Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands will. What's your
I
interest
am
level in that?
pre-ordering that. I
Yeah, that
decided.
one looks-
I did some research on it, and I posted about this as well in the group. I was saying how I was a little nervous to commit to this game because I thought it was basically just Ghost Recon, but the Division combined. So it was just going to be a Division version of Ghost Recon. And for those who don't know, I'm actually a Ghost Recon fan. I've loved the games on the 360 and before that. I bought all of them. But I was nervous that this was just going to be another Division type game, and the Division underwhelmed me. I liked it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like my game of the year. I thought it was going to take the place of Destiny for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, long
forgot that
story
it came
short,
out
I
this
did
year.
some research, and Ghost Recon is basically an open world campaign. So it's not supposed to be like the Division as far as like, well, we'll just go from here to here doing missions just to build up some dumb base that I don't care about. This is supposed to, I believe, have a story and a campaign that you can play all single player. But here's the cool part, and this is what excites me, if people will actually play this with me, because I'm going to get it on the PS4. Seriously, guys, stop farting.
I heard that one.
Yeah,
Whoa.
dude, now Eli's ripping that junk.
That's good stuff.
Okay, well, anyways,
Yeah.
you can play all
Farts
the
of the
campaign
grind.
missions with co-op partners. So, because every mission has built-in AI partners. So if I'm playing it by myself, I'm going to be playing with AI. Or if you're on and you're like, hey, let's play something together, I can be like, yeah, come join my story mission and we'll play Ghost Recon together.
Yeah, that one looks very interesting. I hope that's a return to form for Ghost
Yeah.
Recon. All right, the next month, there's probably other stuff in March, but I kind of skipped ahead to April because there wasn't anything marquee that really jumped out at me. We'll get to Nintendo Switch stuff soon because technically we don't have a release date for that. So right now I'm going through things with a solid release date.
Yeah, that's fine.
So April 4th is Persona 5.
I'll get that.
I think that's finally going to drop. So we talked about Persona 4 Golden a little bit a week or two ago. I have every confidence that's going to be a high-quality game and exactly what the fans want. Is that the kind of game that I'll get and or play right out of the gate. Probably not, but I could see myself coming back to it when I'm kind of looking, when I get that RPG itch. I'll come back to Persona 5. So that one should
That's
be
one,
interesting.
even though I talked about Tales that I probably won't play right away. Persona 5 is one of them that I plan to buy and like actually start it right then and there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and play 4 and all that crap. I don't care. I'm just going to jump in and play 5. It's already reviewing really, really well in Japan. And I did like the little bit that I played of 4. So
yeah.
I'm
Well, and I
down
also
with it.
like
And
being
plus
part of the
we talked
conversation for games like this, and so I have a feeling we're going to have some members of our community that are going to be
there's
playing
be
it and talking
a ton
about
of
it.
people
so,
talking about this game, yeah.
So yeah, so
And
maybe
you gotta
I will jump
remember,
on some
I
of the
really
thing.
liked the game that I talked about last week, Tokyo Massage. It's
That's right.
gonna play pretty similar to that, so I'm on board.
Cool. All right, and then the next week is a game that I think I'm leaning towards pre-ordering. You and I talked about this because the more I read about it, the more I see. And now I think I might wait until it gets really close to release and maybe some more solid impressions are out. But Yooka-Laylee will drop on April 11th. And that game has my interest because Ratchet and Clank reminded me how much I love a good 3D platformer. And Yooka-Laylee, of course, being done in the spirit of Banjo-Kazooie, which at the time I liked. By the way, going back to play Banjo-Kazooie wasn't as fun as I remembered it. But at the time I loved it. And I like that kind of fun, colorful, cartoony 3D platformer game. And so if this actually is going to land and be a solid game, I'm on board. So I'm either going to pre-order it or buy it very shortly after release, depending on the reviews. So, but that's a game that I've got my sights on. That one looks good.
That's one of them I plan on if I'm gonna play it, and I do have interest in it only because of the recent platformers I've been playing that I've actually enjoyed. I'm gonna let you buy because I'm like, no, I'm gonna buy Persona 5 and all these other ones. That's not one.
Well, you know me, I'll get
spend
that.
money
That'd be
on.
one that I'll play with the kids, and then you can download it if you want it to.
And my kids
right.
will just say it's stupid why I'm playing.
Yeah,
So
they'll insult
dumb,
your choice of game. You're like, I got it for free. Leave me alone. All right,
I'm
so
dumb for buying that.
let's talk about some other Q1 games that do not yet have a release date. So I'm going to name a game, and you tell me, I guess, just a couple responses. Maybe you want to tell me whether or not you're going to get it, and whether or not you think it'll actually come out in Q1. So the first one,
we could do just read off the game, and then I'll go first, and then you, and we can just say buy it, wait, or no.
Yeah, okay.
Make it quick.
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Buy it.
Buy it. I tried to say it at the same time as you. Yeah, buy it. Completely buy it. Absolutely. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to arrive in Q1. We'll get to that with our predictions in a little bit. All right. Injustice 2.
Buy it.
Nah. But of course, if you get the PS4, I'll try it.
No.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves, the kind of online multiplayer pirating game for Xbox One.
Wait. And by wait, I mean I'm going to wait for like reviews, or I may even wait on getting it later.
I could be easily convinced by members of our community like Nate Bacon or Jesse or a few others who are talking about getting this and playing it.
If enough people jump on it, it could be cool.
Yeah, I remember Alan Heinen, I think, was another one who had mentioned get this game. So it could be fun if the right people are playing it and if it actually is fun to play.
Yep.
What about Prey, which is slated right now for Q1 or Q2? Do you think... What about Prey? What have you seen of Prey? Did you see the most recent trailer for it, and are you interested?
I haven't watched a lot, but I've seen a little bit. I liked the first one, the one that was on the 360.
I remember that game, yeah.
So I actually plan on getting this one, yeah.
This looks nothing like the first one, so we'll see.
No, it sounds like they changed like a lot of stuff. Like I was watching it, it looked like it was almost like a Dishonored type game.
Yeah, it looks very different from the first one. I don't really have any interest in it yet, but I could be convinced because that first one was unique, and the trailer for it did look good. Yep. I also don't think it's coming out in Q1 or Q2. I think that's
actually it's made by the Dishonored guys. Now that I think about it,
yeah,
it's
I think
Arcane Studios doing it. So they're kind of probably taking that first-person shooter and then saying, "Hey, this is what we do with Dishonored." Smash it together.
Yep.
So that's a definite day one.
All right. Also in Q1, Q2, South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. South Park's funny, but it's never really been my thing. But
did you play the last one?
I did not.
No. Okay. And I'm being serious because like. I get why you wouldn't want to play it because while it's funny, it's not like I don't know. I play games. I already said this before. One of the things that turns me off to Watch Dogs 2 and GTA 5 is I don't like over-the-top dumb crap when I'm playing games. I like more serious, tell me a good story, hook me with a mystery or something like that. South Park's not going to give you that, obviously. It does make me laugh, but what I was going to tell you is the reason why I really, really liked the last one is it was a really, really good turn-based RPG. It was fun to play. Like, the specials were good, and it was hilarious. So this one actually looks like they've taken what they did in the last one, and I'm talking gameplay here, and made it better. So I'm real excited about that one.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily. It's not like a moral stand against it. It's more I'm just not interested. But there's also the other part of it too. Like it would have to be like Doom. Like it's a game that I can only play when everyone's finally out of the house and/or room. So I feel limited with games like that.
I'm sure your wife would absolutely love South Park's humor.
It's like, for example, games like Watch Dogs. I can play that for the most part when kids are around with my headphones in because they're not hearing the swearing and the dialogue. And I just make sure if they're anywhere in the vicinity, I'm just doing something general like driving. I'm just driving or I'm flying the quadcopter or something with South Park or with even with Doom, of course. There's not one part of that game you can play. But anyway, considering it, probably not. I do think it will arrive in Q1 or Q2 this year. Mass Effect Andromeda scheduled for Q2. Hey, Derek, are you going to get this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I pre-ordered a game on Christmas Day, and I went through all the games on the PlayStation Store. So there was Neo, all these games available, and I was like, what's the number one game you want right now? Mass Effect, and that's the one. Even though I know it's not the closest one coming out, I was like, I just want to lock it up, buy it now, not have to worry about it. So that's why I went with that one.
There's rumors it could actually arrive in Q1. It could arrive in March, but
yeah, I was
most likely
it's supposed to come out in March. Like there was like a leaked date, March 10th or something.
So it could be a late Q1 game. It also could be a Q2 game. Another Q2 rumored game is Cuphead. This is another one of those indie games that looks really cool, and they showed a great trailer for it a few years ago at E3. And then it keeps getting delayed. It keeps getting pushed back. And I'm starting to get a little bit of Mighty Number 9 vibes from it, where it's like this really charming-looking indie game that could be a real cool take on a genre, and yet it might not deliver. So I'm with you on wait. I'm very interested. I think if between the two of us, one of us buys this, it's going to be me, if only one of us bought it. But I'm interested, but I am now having doubts about how good that game will be.
Yeah, but that's an Xbox game, right?
It is Xbox, you're right, so we'd both have to buy it separately.
Yeah, so we wouldn't even share it anyway. So if I wanted it, I'd have to buy it. And to be honest, I know people are going to be like, oh, Derek, indies. But if you pay attention, I bash indies, but I still play them. This is one that when everybody else was raving about how amazing it looked, I was looking at it going, this looks like an 80s cartoon that I have zero interest in playing. So that's not one that... In fact, I said wait, but I'm going to just say no. No.
What about another Xbox game that's been talked about a lot, and yet very little information is out about it, Crackdown 3. It's scheduled for Q3.
Are you going to
probably get it, or do you think it will actually arrive in Q3?
Well, I think, going based off what Microsoft's been doing lately, usually in August they release kind of a smaller, maybe remastered type title. Then September is their... I want to say Forza month, and then October and November are usually open for a main game. I think Crackdown 3 and Sea of Thieves are going to fit that. So I would say Crackdown 3 is going to be their November game, and Sea of Thieves is going to be their October game. So there you go, guys. There's your lineup.
That'd be a strong fall.
Maybe Cuphead will be their August game. I don't know.
That'd be a strong back-to-back month right there. Couple months right there.
Yeah.
All right. Red Dead Redemption 2 is supposed to come out in October of this year. Are you planning on getting it? Whether or not I'm going to plan on getting it, would you buy this?
I know you plan on getting it, but I'm going to probably kind of like Horizon. Yeah. I want to own Horizon. I want to own Uncharted 4. I want to own Red Dead Redemption 2. The reason why I mentioned Uncharted 4 is you bought it, so I have your copy, but I actually want to buy my own. So those are all three games that I want to own. Unless Horizon sucks, and then I don't want to own it.
Yeah.
But we'll
at least you get to test it out for free, yeah. All right, I do think it's going to arrive in the fall. I think Rockstar will hit that date. You never know.
They'll hit their date. They'll hit their date.
I think they've been working on that game for a long time, and I think it's going to be amazing. One of the many predictions our community kept throwing out there for when I asked for predictions was that Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically is going to be the game of the year across many outlets, and it's going to score high 9s and 10s because it's going to be that good. So not really a scary or difficult prediction, but it's a very popular one for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and then I know you don't care about this last one, so I can talk about this last one, but supposedly Oddworld Soulstorm, the new entry in the Oddworld series, is supposed to come out at the end of this year. I would get it if it's coming out. I would totally get it, unless, of course, the buzz around it's really bad or if they overprice it. I feel like an Oddworld game should be $40 or less, unless they're doing something totally new and unique. If it's another side-scrolling stealth platformer, which I really, really like, it shouldn't be more than $40 if they do it that way, in my opinion. But that being said, I'll be interested until I am convinced otherwise from info or pricing or something like that. I do think it will come out this year as well. All right. Let me just go through a quick list here of games that don't have a date and yet are coming up. And so, Derek, in the interest of time, I'm just going to have you respond to these, and maybe I'll throw in my thoughts too. But tell me, do you think this game is going to come out in 2017, yes or no? Guardians of the Galaxy from Telltale.
Yes.
At least the first episode will come out this year, you're saying.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. Shout out to Jesse White for this one.
Yes, but it's going to be, I want to say late summer.
Okay. Wow, that'd be a surprise. Okay. I don't think it's going to come out this year. Sorry, Jesse. That game just has something about the lack of info on it has me scared that it's getting kind of caught in a development cycle. That's not good. Ni no Kuni 2.
Ooh, how I would love for it to come out this year. Maybe fall.
Okay.
I just don't know. I have trouble believing this game's going to come out this year. And then with Persona 5 already coming out, it's definitely not going to be an early 2017. So fall or it's delayed to 2018.
Yeah, I can see this one coming out one of those weird months like a September where there's not always a bunch of heavy hitters. I could see it dropping in September or so.
But I love
Scalebound.
the first one. Did you play the first one?
I still haven't played the first one. I think it's only on PS3, right? So
yeah.
No, I never played it.
I loved it. I actually finished
Scalebound.
that JRPG, by the way. Scalebound. Oh, yeah, this is one I forgot about. This is supposed to come out this year.
It's supposed
so
to.
That would change what I just said.
I believe that they talked about reworking some stuff in that game. I think that game was kind of taken back and reworked a bit because the reaction wasn't great.
There's no. Let me say this: unless Sea of Thieves is their August game, there's no way Sea of Thieves, Scalebound, and
Crackdown 3, yeah,
and Crackdown 3 are all coming out. So either Crackdown's getting delayed or Scalebound. And I'm not saying that from like, oh, they're not ready. I'm saying Microsoft probably already had this pre-planned out, and I just don't see all three of those would be their main games. Unless, and this is where I could be wrong, and we'll talk about this later in the show, Scorpio is coming out this year. Crackdown 3 might be their main title of like, look at how gorgeous this game is on Scorpio.
Yeah,
so
I can
if
see that.
that's the case, then maybe Scalebound is another one that they want to show off with it as well. So
I actually think all three will come out this year. I think Sea of Thieves will come in the spring, and then Scalebound and Crackdown 3 will be somewhere in the September to December range together.
That would be an absolutely amazing year. I am really hyped for Crackdown 3, but Scalebound, since I've seen it, has intrigued me. I'm not saying it's going to be an amazing game because really don't know anything except that it looks like almost like a Monster Hunter type game, but it looks cool.
It looks epic. I'll give it that. It looks epic, although the lead character and some of the dialogue kind of was off-putting to me in the trailer, like that gameplay that they did, but we can talk about that more later.
Yeah.
Here's a game I don't know if you've heard of before, but I thought it was worth mentioning. I know you don't usually like kind of smaller indie-type games, but there's a game coming out called Absolver, which I haven't watched any video of yet, but it's described as a martial arts action RPG from former Ubisoft devs. So I believe it's kind of a smaller scale game, but you don't have to say much about this one if you don't know anything about it. But it is on many people's list for games to watch out for this year. That'll be interesting to see if that actually arrives this year. But the busyness of the year continues. I'm going to keep going for the sake of time here. State of Decay 2. Did you play State of Decay 1, the first one?
Yeah. I actually have it
Yeah,
on the Xbox
I liked that
One,
game a
too.
lot. That was one of the best. I think I got it when it was $15 at one point on the 360, and that was a great open world zombie game where you recruit other characters and you kind of build up your. The only thing that was missing was multiplayer. That would have made for a great multiplayer game. So I'm very much looking forward to State of Decay 2. If that comes out this year and if it arrives as a Microsoft exclusive like State of Decay the original was, then man, this would be a stacked year for Xbox if that's the case. Like if State of Decay 2 is like their summer game or something, like, wow, what a year that would be for Xbox, who already had a great year this past year.
Okay, so I want to just say this real quick before we move on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm watching a quick video on Steam of Absolver.
Yeah.
Holy crap. It's definitely on my watch list now. It looks really cool. So I just
What's it
want
look
to say
like?
that real quick.
Give us a quick description. What's it look like?
It looks like almost like a side-scrolling martial arts fighting game.
Okay.
And the artistic style is really, really cool looking. So it gets me a little excited because I'm like, ooh, is this like a Jade Empire type game? Because if it is, I will be so excited.
Even if it's side-scrolling style, you're okay with that?
Well, it had shots of them walking and side-scrolling, and then it switched to 3D, so it looks like it does both.
Okay.
If it's just purely side-scrolling, I'm fine if it's like heavy on the RPG mechanics. But
okay,
we'll see.
Yeah, it's listed as an action RPG martial arts game, so we'll see how much of that's action, how much of that's RPG, how much of that's maybe fighting game style. So, all right, Gran Turismo Sport. I have zero interest in this. So, what about you?
Oh, it's definitely. We're still doing. Is it coming out this year? Yes, it's definitely coming out this year.
Okay, all right.
I'll buy
that'll
it,
be
yeah.
one of the PS4's fall games. You think?
I would hope it's coming sooner, but yeah, I guess so.
All right,
I thought
then.
this
Speaking
was
of
supposed to be an earlier game, but yeah.
Speaking of PS4, what about Uncharted: The Lost Legacy? Let me ask you two questions with this. Will that come out this year? And also, will it be a standalone release? Will it be a game you can download whether or not you have Uncharted 4?
That's what I wanted to know, and I guess since you're asking me, you don't know.
No, the
I
info
heard
on
it's
that's
not
limited
part
right
of
now.
the season pass, which doesn't make sense to me. They sold the season pass and didn't give you any details on it except saying that they would have single-player content. So to me, it would only make sense that this would be a season pass type content. So I don't think it's going to be... It might be like... No, I think it's going to be part of the season pass.
Yeah, because with Last of Us Left Behind, you had to own Last of Us, right? Didn't I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
So I think it'll be like that. I don't think they've confirmed.
No. They did eventually separate it, though. You could
Left
just
Behind
buy Left Behind and play it by itself, I believe.
All right. Maybe it's included with a season pass, but you could also buy it separately.
That's
Who knows?
what they might try to do.
Yeah.
And if they do that, they might just make this like huge and just say, hey, this is the one thing you're getting for that season pass as far as single-player content.
Yeah.
And make it grand. Make it maybe a 10, 12-hour experience out of it.
that trailer was very cool, and from almost that entire trailer, I thought we were watching clips from the new Lara Croft game already. I thought it was a Tomb Raider game. It just had that vibe to it. And then when it turned out to be Chloe, I was like, whoa, this looks cool. You get to be Chloe and Nadine. Like, Nadine, right? Isn't that her name? Yeah.
Blondie? Yeah,
No,
I don't know
the
their name.
the mercenary girl from...
No, I know. I was just making a failed joke.
Blondie. Yeah, basically. Sorry.
Like, I don't know
Let's call
their
her...
names. Old
let's
man,
not call her.
Blondie, brunette guy,
Yeah, you're good with names.
spiky-haired dude.
All right, Don't Nod, the company that made Life is Strange, their game called Vampire, spelled Vampyr, is an action RPG supposed to release this year. Do you know anything about this, and is it coming out this year, you think?
It will come out this year. I do know a little bit of this, but here's the thing. I haven't actually watched, like gameplay or anything, so if they've released any trailers on that, then I haven't watched anything updated. But the fact that you put in quotes... action RPG from Don't Nod. One of the things, and this is why I wanted to share this, I was actually thinking about this the other day. Can you not sing while I'm doing this? I told you I'm doing recording. Please don't sing. So I was doing, I was thinking about Life is Strange, and I was like, that was a pretty good game. I didn't love it as much as other people, like Jesse and them. But I was like, I really liked Remember Me as far as gameplay. And the people that made Life is Strange made Remember Me.
Yeah.
And so
that was
my
their only other
brain
game,
immediately went to, why would they combine these two? and this is how I feel about Telltale as well. You make these amazing stories. You really do. And that's what the game should stick to. They should stick to story focused. It should be heavy on the story, decisions you make. But in the in-between, they should have fun action RPG or action just combat. And that is something Dotnod can do. Remember Me, I wouldn't say it played amazing, but it played good. It played better than Life is Strange, which obviously...
It also has a very ironic title because I think most people forget that game. So...
They don't remember me. But it was a good game. It wasn't great, but it was good. So if you take those two things, they did a good job with Life is Strange creating a story that you had to make decisions in that were huge. And that's what they hooked you on. The same thing Telltale does. Now take that and now put your action into it. And I think that's why they are creating this vampire game, because now they can put that action in it and still, I'm hoping, do the story like they did with Life is Strange.
And even though Life is Strange was an adventure game where it's mostly dialogue, very little in terms of...
Yeah, I'm saying I want them to combine that. It's
not an action game. Yeah, even though they did that, they did introduce a really cool rewind mechanic that made it feel more like a video game than I think any of the Telltale games did. So it felt more like a video game. So I'm curious to see what they do with Vampire. Maybe they'll have a new mechanic. So I'm interested to see what happens with that one. I'm not sure it'll come out this year or not, but who knows? They might drop it this year. What about Destiny 2?
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming.
This year? Okay. Wow. This year's starting to feel stacked as we're going through this list of games. Agents of Mayhem. If you don't know much about this one, it is basically the creators of Saints Row. It's set in the Saints Row universe, and it's just an open world kind of multiplayer game.
I don't know anything about that. I'll just say it's not, but I really don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it could be one of those ones that's a surprise release, but I feel like it's a game that's bound for a delay. Just based on the very little we know about it and the little hype that there is for it. It just has too much competition this year, especially in the open world setting.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. We've heard from EA that they're talking about Battlefield and Battlefront being their two major shooter franchises. We just had Battlefield 1 this year. We had Star Wars Battlefront last year. Is Star Wars Battlefront due a sequel for 2017?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will it have a single-player
movie coming out this?
Oh, yeah. Episode 8 is supposed to come out. Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll come out like a month or two before Episode 8.
Yeah. So either, I'm trying to remember, is Episode 8 coming out in December, or are they pushing it back to summer 2018? I can't remember. But anyway, Star Wars is still going to be...
stick to the December. They're
I think
killing
so,
it and doing that. So,
will they have a single-player campaign this time?
Yes.
I think so, too. And that's why I'll be a lot more excited about it. Not that I didn't like multiplayer. Multiplayer is very fun, but it just didn't keep me from.
I would prefer a single player / co-op campaign.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard to do this. I really feel like if they were smart, they would say Star Wars Battlefront is our Halo series, and so we're gonna make this amazing.
If we learned anything from Rogue One, we know that there is tons of stories and planets and things they could tell, really anywhere in that Star Wars saga. That would be interesting and fun for a multiplayer. Because Rogue One itself had a bunch of huge action set pieces.
Rogue One took place in between movies. Knights of the Old Republic was creating their own stories and characters in the Star Wars world, and they did it successfully. They could do this with Battlefront too. They could say, hey, we're going to do this, but it's going to be a first-person shooter. We're just going to create our own stories in the Star Wars universe with our own characters. You may not recognize any of them. Maybe in the multiplayer, keep, the characters you know of and you love. But for the stories, they really should try to do what Halo does and say, all right, here's the main character, but you can play with other characters with this character. It would be like a team like they were in Rogue One. Rogue One was all about a team getting a job done, and so I really think they could pull that off.
Yep, I agree. And I do think that'll come out this year as well. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was just announced. Is that going to come out this year, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They announced it in December because they're going to get this one out. I think it's going to come out pretty soon. Okay. I think summer.
Well, I hope that they've already proven they're going to improve the graphics. It does look very good. I think it looks cool. I hope they improve the gameplay as well, because I think a lot of people have rose-colored glasses with this game. I don't think it was that fun to play, so we'll see how it translates into a modern game. I never thought Crash Bandicoot, any of them that I've played, were all that fun, but we'll see.
I have no interest in that game at all.
Yeah,
or
they were nowhere close to the Ratchet and Clanks and Jack and Daxters of the world. They just didn't.
I don't
they
care
weren't close.
about those.
All right, here's a big one. Days Gone. Is that coming out this year?
Out this year.
Okay. All right. Because, man, in some of the preview stuff they showed, especially at the PS4 reveal and stuff, parts of that game look really complete. But then again, we're just seeing a sliver, I guess. We're seeing a very, as people call it, a vertical slice. So maybe the rest of that game still is under, kind of still being worked on. I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if Days Gone doesn't make it this year. Then again, it could be the 1-2 punch Sony needs this fall. Days Gone and Gran Turismo Sport. That could be their 1-2 punch of exclusives this fall.
I would like to see. I would love for this year. I should just make this my prediction, but I really would like Sony to step up their game this year. They're going into the 4th year of releasing games, like a calendar for the PS4. I'd really like this to be the year that they are a little bit more even. Microsoft needs to do this as well. One of the things I've noticed is that Microsoft's real heavy in the fall, and Sony seems to be more heavy in the beginning of the year, mid-year, and then they drop off in the fall. And granted, and it could be a strategy thing because they have a lot of third-party contracts, so a lot of these big third-party games are coming out in the fall, and they have special contracts with Sony. So maybe that was something that they do on purpose. But I would like to see both publishers be a little bit more even. Like, hey, here's a big game in the spring. For instance, we got Horizon. If it doesn't get delayed, Horizon's coming out. What's Microsoft's big game? I'd like for them to have something now.
Possibly Sea of Thieves. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to see that a little bit more with all of them.
I mean, last year we had Quantum Break and Uncharted 4 were kind of the two big exclusives, right, of the spring. But other than that, it wasn't very even the rest of the year. So that's a good call.
No.
All right. Moving on here. I don't really have any interest in this, and you said that you're a scaredy cat with some games. So Outlast 2.
No, I don't care about that.
Yeah, I do think that'll come out this year, though. People liked Outlast quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And so I think that's coming out this year. Shenmue 3, I think, has no chance of coming out this year.
I want to say this, though, and somebody made a valid point. I don't remember where I heard it from, and if I remembered, I would give them credit. But they were talking about Shenmue 3. You know what? I think it was Damon Hatfield's show. What is that one?
GameScoop. Yeah.
GameScoop. I'm pretty sure it was GameScoop. They were talking about Shenmue 3, and they were like, you know what? If you want to play a Shenmue game so bad right now, play Yakuza 0. Because Yakuza is made by Sega, and it has a lot of the same things people liked about Shenmue, but it's actually better because it has good combat. Shenmue did not have good combat.
Oh, it was awful.
All you did was just run around a city and play arcade games and crap like that. That's what you can do in Yakuza, but Yakuza has actually like a cool, I won't say a cool story, but it's got like that drama. So they do a good job of that, and then it has fun, like beat 'em up combat. So yeah. If you're at all
Shenmue
excited
3,
for Shenmue 3, play Yakuza.
I don't think Shenmue 3 is coming out this year, and I also, long-term prediction, I don't think it's going to be good because Shenmue 1 wasn't good. I never played Shenmue 2. All right, this game Pyre that they've shown off a few times at different conferences, it's from Supergiant, the developers of Bastion and Transistor. Do you think Pyre's coming out this year?
My answer is I don't care.
Yeah,
I think
all right, fair enough.
Supergiant's overrated, but whatever.
I'm pretty sure you can ride a bear in that game, which looks pretty cool. But anyway.
Yeah, it'll probably come out, though.
Yeah, it might.
Because Transistor came out in I want to say 2013. Yeah. Or early 2014. It was one of
Pyre at one point was talked about for 2016, so I do think it's coming out this year. I think it's due. All right, here we go. Now we're getting into some kind of longer shot games. The untitled Mario Switch game that was briefly shown in the trailer. It's obviously not named, not even confirmed that it exists, but we're going to go ahead on the assumption that there is a brand new 3D Mario Switch game. Is that coming out this year? And if so, when?
Yes. Let me read my prediction.
Oh, is it a prediction? I'll wait then. I'll wait. If it's a prediction, I'll wait. Okay.
Yes.
Let's hold off on that one. I also think it's coming out this year.
Actually, I did change it. Stop farting. Stop. Seriously. Ian,
What?
I'm recording, dude. All your farts are on my show. Freaking annoying. I mean, that one was loud. There's no way you didn't hear that one. That's like not in my head. He's like actually aiming his butt at our show now. Like,
I can smell it.
This show
I
literally
can smell it.
stinks.
Oh my goodness.
And now he's giggling. I thought he'd be embarrassed. Ian's the type that he would be embarrassed. Eli would be like, let me fart again. Yeah.
Civil War is on Netflix.
Oh, cool. Watch it and stop farting. Never mind. Mario was not part of my prediction. I actually changed it. I'm gonna say no. I think Zelda's gonna be the main game when the Switch launches, and then I have a different title that I think will be another big release in 2017 for the Switch. So I'm gonna say I don't wanna say no because I'm like Nintendo needs Mario. They need it fast.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it's gonna come
I think
out
it's gonna come out, but I think it's gonna come out a few months after the Switch launches. I think it'll be probably
I wanted to say
late
fall,
spring.
but
yeah.
I think
Nintendo doesn't usually care about time of year. Like they'll release major games
they
whenever.
did. Like when I bought the PS4 and the Xbox One, they released what was the two games that came out the day the Xbox One released? Because I picked them up. They released Zelda
Smash Brothers?
on the 3DS, and they released
Maybe
Smash Brothers, Mario 3D World on the Wii U.
Okay, all right. Well, I do think it's going to come out. I think it's going to miss the Switch launch, but not by much. I think it'll be out a few months after Switch launch. All right, here we go. God of War. Any chance that comes out this year?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're lucky, will be their big game in 2018.
What about? I agree. Detroit Become Human.
It's coming out. I think it will be a fall game, but it might
Okay.
be one of the earlier ones, like a August, September type game.
That one intrigues me.
Early fall.
Yeah, you know me. I like those kind of games.
I'm really excited about this one.
It looks like a sci-fi movie brought to life. It looks very cool. All right, Last of Us Part 2. Any chance that comes out in 2017?
2019, yes.
2019, yeah. No, I'm with you. God of War 2018, Last of Us Part 2 2019. That sounds about right. How many years will we be waiting for Death Stranding, the new game from Kojima?
2021.
Oh my gosh, I hope not. That's crazy. It could be though. They're doing way too much. Every major conference,
as it gets closer, I'll have interest. But
every major conference
they
bring him out. Yeah, they bring him out. They show another weird trailer. It's just I'm just like, guys, stop spending your time on these trailers and make a game. You know.
Yeah, I don't really care.
And last but not least, Knack 2.
Yes, it will come out this year.
Yep.
So here's the thing, Sony. I mean, you read off a lot of Sony games here. If Sony doesn't delay too many of them, like let's say they just delay one of these games, their 2017's looking pretty darn good. So.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
So is Microsoft.
I agree.
So both of them look really great.
And third party, of course, is looking amazing with things like Red Dead 2 and Star Wars Battlefront, possibly 2, Destiny 2. So a bunch of sequels that potentially could make another strong third party year.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to our predictions to close out the show here.
Okay.
And I had some predictions from the community as well, but I've already mentioned a few. So for right now, I'm going to skip reading those. Maybe we'll have time next week to do a listen section and listen to some of theirs. But let's just go through ours, and we'll go one at a time, though. So we'll take turns, just like we normally do with our lists. And let's make a few predictions for 2017. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here we go. This is not that much of a stretch. Like our friend, for example, and I'm going to have him record his voice saying his name because I always butcher it. But our friend.
Hey guys, this is Jurgen van Buddingen with, well, you guessed it, my name. It probably is difficult for most of you guys to pronounce my name. But anyway, this is how you say it. Jurgen van Bunningen. And yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Have a good one.
I can never say his name. He had the same prediction as me for the next Assassin's Creed game, except his prediction is that it's going to follow up the movie. So it's going to be more that Spain setting and follow the movie storyline. My prediction is a little different. I think Ubisoft will officially announce and release Assassin's Creed 5. That will be the title this year. I think it's going to be a brand new engine. They're going to tout it as the biggest world to explore yet. I think it's going to be set in Northeast Africa, in Egypt and Ethiopia, mainly with Egypt, in the pyramids. It's going to be in that time, like, Cleopatra, all that kind of stuff with Pharaoh. It's going to feature chariots, horses, and camels as the main transportation. They're going to kind of follow up the carriages from Syndicate, but it's going to be chariot battles and races and stuff like that.
Well, thank you for taking my prediction. And here's the thing. I swear to you, I'm not lying. My first one I was going to say is Assassin's Creed coming October 2017, set in Africa.
Well, people have talked about Egypt already as a rumor, and I just think that sounds too good not to be true. And
Actually, I haven't heard the rumor. I was just trying to think of places they can play. I do not think they'll follow the movie route, just for the simple fact that if they were going to do that, they would have done it when the movie was released.
Well, and the reason I think it's a no-brainer is it's because there's an entire empire there for them to feed stories into. There's a lot of interesting stuff they can do, lots of exploration. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a beautiful game too. I also think if you watch the way Assassin's Creed games work, they usually take a gameplay mechanic that they quasi-introduce in a previous game, and then they really build it out in the next one. So, like in Assassin's Creed 3, they introduced ship battles very lightly, and it wasn't all that great. And then 4, all of a sudden, boom, it was ship battles were huge. And they like to do that from game to game, and I feel like they introduced carriage, riding, and battling and racing in Syndicate with some success. I thought it was pretty fun. I think Chariots is the next evolution of that, and it's going to be probably a lot better to control, a lot faster, and a lot more dynamic battling from chariot to chariot. So we'll see. We'll see if that's what they do, but that's my prediction. Sorry, I stole one for you. Do you have extras to fill in that one? Or?
Well, I can come up with something, but I'll skip that one. That was going to be my first one. Let's go with, I've said this before, but I'm actually going to give details. I think Horizon is going to be average, and what I mean by that is it's going to have great gameplay, but they are going to fail at creating a interesting world with fun, with a good story. I think it's just going to be one of those games that it will get mixed reviews, meaning whoever's playing it to just enjoy the game, like for gameplay, they're going to give it high scores, but for looking at everything, like an interesting world, story, characters, gameplay, I think it's going to fail, and I think it's going to be average.
Give me a prediction. Average. Give me a Metacritic average prediction.
I'm going to go with 75.
Okay, that'll still be a solid game. So you're kind of describing Far Cry Primal, where certain people, like me, will love it, and even despite its flaws, won't care, and they'll still love that game. And then other people will be like, nah, there was too much repetitiveness, or the characters weren't great. So yeah, I could see it.
I don't have confidence that these guys can make... I think they can make a good game as far as I think I'll have fun playing it. I think the world will look good. I just don't think it's going to be an interesting world, and I think, most importantly, I think they're going to have a very bland, stupid story with dumb characters that nobody's going to care about.
All right. I hope you're wrong, but that is actually not a bad prediction, because I think the Killzone games are hit and miss in terms of characters and story. So we'll see.
Why I'm going that. And then remember we talked about it when they showed like one of the trailers or gameplay, and she was interacting with somebody and talking about,
yes,
this is terrible.
Yep.
And I was like, nobody was pointing this out. And I'm not saying this to be like, I'm Colin and I catch everything and I'm super smart. I was just watching this going, how is nobody calling this out as looking very, very bad?
Yeah.
But
no,
I'm holding on to that.
All right, well, give me your next one, since I stole one of yours, just to give you the advantage on this next one. Pick another one.
All right, I think Bloodborne 2 is going to get announced. I'm going to say at E3, and it will come out early 2018.
That's good. That's a good prediction. Okay. Do you think it's going to be drastically different than Bloodborne 1, or will it be just more of the same and improve some things?
I think the gameplay will be the same. I think they're going to choose a different setting. I don't think they're just going to go back to what they've already done. But it will be very similar as far as gameplay and the same type of Souls setup where you're just traveling through this world and fighting bosses.
Okay. All right, my second prediction is that Advance Wars will make a return. I think they're going to re-release the original Game Boy Advance games on mobile, not only Virtual Console, but on mobile, because Nintendo is starting to like mobile phones. So those original GBA games will be now at touch control, which will be pretty fun to try out. They'll probably overprice it. And then they will announce a new Advance Wars game coming to the Switch, but it won't come out till 2018. So that's my prediction. They're going to bring back Advance Wars. All right, what's your third one?
All right, so mine's the Switch as well. We're gonna go with the Switch in January will be announced for $250, which is what you said. So I'm now agreeing with you. You've convinced me.
All right.
That's not the major prediction. This is why I was not sure about a Mario game. I believe they're going to announce in January a Metroid game coming to the Switch for late 2017.
Whoa, that'd be huge.
Now, they're not going to say late 2017. They're just going to show you in January that Metroid is coming, but I do think it is going to be like a fall
release. Are we talking a high-quality side-scrolling? Are we talking Metroid Prime, or are we talking another weird...
I'm going to go with a Metroid Prime type game.
Okay, so not like a Federation Force garbage spin-off thing.
No,
okay.
No. Something to really use the Switch for.
All right, so I've done two, right? So here's my third one. I think Sucker Punch will announce Infamous 3 at E3.
Okay.
And it'll be a surprise November release date. And I think it's going to...
You said Infamous 3.
Yep.
So you're saying What's-His-Face is coming back?
Is it Cole? Is that his name?
Yes. I was trying to remember his name.
I don't know. My prediction is it's going to be new characters, but I think they're going to do what a lot of game series do when they kind of, like Assassin's Creed, for example.
Well, Cole died, I thought, in the second one.
They'll do a couple of non-numbered sequels, but then they'll sometimes bring it back to the numbered sequel. I think they're going to come back with Infamous 3 to make it clear that this is not following Second Son or anything. It's going to be a brand new. I think it's going to be a brand new hero and a new location, maybe with some former heroes and villains.
Let's clarify here. And if any of our listeners are if they're intrigued if we're going to be right or not, if we want to get one of our listeners to write down what we're predicting and then throw it in our faces later in the year, that'd be great. Cool. But what I was going to say is you've predicted now twice. You said Infamous is going to be the third one, so you're putting a number on it, and then you said Assassin's Creed 5.
Yep.
So if they announce an Assassin's Creed game but they don't put a 5 in it, I think you should be wrong. And I think you should be wrong if they announce Infamous and they don't put a 3 in it.
Well, I should at least get partial
points. Do that.
You know, I should at least get partial points for some of these.
Yeah, we'll do partials.
We should do partial points.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to jump to my number 4. So you've done 3, I've done 3. Okay. So I'll give you my number 4. I've already done a couple game announcements. Let me do a different one here. I think that Nintendo will release a Game Boy Classic with 20 to 30 built-in games, just like the NES, and it's going to release this fall. It's going to follow up the NES Classic, but it's going to be a Game Boy with built-in games. Same kind of thing, but it's going to be like the shape of a large Game Boy. They'll probably also have Game Boy Color, maybe even, I don't know, maybe Game Boy Advance games on it, so there'll be a color option on the screen. But I think that'll release this fall. Game Boy Classic. All
right, and my fourth one is Scorpio will launch in November. It will launch with 2 SKUs. SKU 1 will be 1 terabyte at $400. SKU 2 will be $500 at 2 terabytes. They're also going to launch Crackdown 3 in November, the day Scorpio launches.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Would you go out on a limb and say they're going to include any kind of additional thing, not like Kinect, but not Kinect? Like, for example, will Microsoft have a bundle option with a VR headset like Oculus?
I don't think they will in the fall. I think that's going to come in 2018. But yes, VR is coming.
Yeah.
I just think it will be more of a 2018 type thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, let me give you one more here.
I got to think of another one because I did only write 5 down.
So I wrote down a few extras, and I'm trying to think which one I want to make an official prediction. All right, let's go with Zelda. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will release in October of 2017. I think it'll be delayed.
So it's getting delayed.
It's going to get delayed, but
so
it will
then
release
what's
this
their
year.
big Switch title?
It's going to be a combination of Mario after a few months after release, and then it's going to be other smaller games. A lot of Wii U re-releases, I think. I do think they'll have Skyrim on there. I do think that From Software there's been too many rumors about From doing something there, so maybe a Dark Souls compilation of some kind. So it's going to be some third party and then some kind of demonstrating what the system can do type games. I don't think it's going to be a very strong launch lineup, but I do think there's going to be good games for it this year. So I think The Legend of Zelda is coming out in October. I think the Wii U version will be delayed until 2018. I think they'll quietly release it in the beginning of 2018. I think they're just going to focus on the Switch version because I think there's going to be too much difference between the two versions. So they're going to have to delay the Wii U version. They got to get that Switch version out and give you motivation to buy the Switch. That's my final prediction.
All right. I've got 2 predictions. One's going to actually be real, and the other one's just going to be Fantasy Derek. So I'll give you Fantasy Derek first. E3 this year, EA announces at their show Coder 3 and Jade Empire 2. So that's Fantasy Derek. And then my real one is at E3 this year, Microsoft's going to announce that Fable is in the works and will release in 2018 window.
Nice. You think it's going to be one of those teaser trailers where like it shows like a scene and then like the Fable?
It'll be like the last trailer. It's going to be at the very end, and it's going to be, well, the last trailer will probably be the new Halo. But it'll be towards the end of the show, and it'll be one of their new...
a surprise trailer, basically.
Yeah, that
like
nobody knew about.
No, that's a good one. I almost went with one about Moon Studios. I do think they're going to talk about a follow-up to Ori, but that's not an official prediction of mine. I do think they're going to do a follow-up game. It won't be an Ori follow-up. Like, it won't feature any characters or the setting of Ori, but I do think it'll be another side-scrolling platformer. But it's not an official prediction, but that's me dreaming big. I want another game from Moon Studios because Ori was just so good.
Didn't it take them a while to make that game, though?
It did. That's why I think it's going to be in a similar vein. I think it's going to be built with the same engine, just with different characters in a different setting and maybe some different, I think maybe heavier RPG elements. I'm not sure. But anyway, who knows if that's going to happen or not. That's kind of my bonus. That's a bonus one that I wrote down just in case. But it's not an official prediction. So there you go. There's our predictions. There's a quick preview, actually much longer preview than we intended for this week, but I do like talking about upcoming games and getting hyped for stuff. So a lot of cool stuff coming out. I want to hear your guys' predictions as well. Maybe next week we'll read off some of the ones you guys provided to us.
Yep.
So thank you for doing that. And that should do it for episode 52. So your boys can fart away now that we're signing off.
Yeah, I know. I think they've gone silent now.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good week.
Who is your daddy? I am the father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?